This past weekend, I participated in BlueVactor's Dynamax Adventure Weekend. 3 whole days of shiny hunting madness exclusively inside of the Dynamax Adventure Dens from Pokemon Sword and Shield. Here's everything that happened for me this DA weekend. Oh, it did! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, it worked! While Dynamax Adventures are not the fastest method of encountering Pokemon, they do boast 1 in 300 odds for seeing a shiny Pokemon, and that number increases up to 1 in 100 if you have the shiny charm. And my goal for this DA weekend was to finish a hunt that I had started over a year ago and was already over odds for. And who might that Pokemon be? None other than Gen 4's Cresselia. This Pokemon is one of my favorite mythicals, and it has such a cool shiny form. I started looking for this one probably over a year ago, and I had hunted it on and off between other projects that I've been working on. Over the course of that year, I had managed to rack up 119 Cresselia encounters, so with that as the starting point for this challenge, my goal for the weekend was to grind for Cresselia and finally capture this wonderful legendary. I decided to start the festivities a little bit early and get started on my DA weekend on Friday. Today marks the beginning of DA weekend. Dynamax adventures are gonna go crazy. So that's the game plan for today's stream. Mostly just go crazy on some DAs and do whatever we can to find some shiny legendaries, because I have yet to find any. And right away, I jumped into Cresselia DAs, wasting no time at all. I managed to get through the first 3 pretty quickly before failing a couple of them in a row. And you might notice that during those, I didn't increase the number next to Cresselia. So when I fail the Cresselia battle, I don't count it because I never technically encountered Cresselia to see if it was shiny, which makes tracking exactly how many DAs I did during this weekend a little more difficult, but it helps me keep way better track of exactly how many times I've actually seen Cresselia. So after those 2 failed encounters, I got back on track and kept battling. And surprisingly, I managed to win Dynamax Adventure after Dynamax Adventure after Dynamax Adventure, which actually brings up another point I have. Well, the bots in these Dynamax Adventures may actually feature some of the worst NPC characters in the entire franchise of Pokemon. I think we just died of hail, probably. Oh, come on. Come on. Somebody attack this. Please, please, please do something. No, you used Iron Defense, you idiot. Cresselia is out of health, though. Is Cresselia not out of health? Cresselia is actually an extremely easy Dynamax adventure target in comparison to some other Pokemon we'll look for in this video. Even with some of the NPCs spamming only stat boosting moves for the entire duration of the DA, I am able to carry bot squads through these lobbies pretty easily. With that said, this Dynamax adventure with other people is a heck of a lot better. In about 7 Dynamax adventures in, during which I found absolutely nothing, my brother joined in on a couple to help things go a little smoother. But surprisingly, these DAs went slower than before, but with just 1 more intelligent person in the group, it was certainly far less stressful when it came around to those final Cresselia battles. After a few DAs with him, again yielding absolutely nothing, I was about 3.5 hours into my stream and starting to run out of energy a little bit. And with nothing shining yet, in the largest channel point prediction in the history of my Twitch channel on the line, it was time for one last DA to close out the day. And that called for a vibe switch. The only other active Dynamax adventure hunt I had going into this weekend was Giratina, which I had actually started hunting last year during Halloween, but despite an insane amount of phases so far, I hadn't managed to find it in the couple of days that I looked for it last year. But with October right around the corner, this felt like a perfect time to maybe pick the hunt back up. So I closed out the day with one final Giratina DA, with other members of the chat hopping in. We got through the first 3 Pokemon flawlessly, and while Giratina did devastate a couple of our team members, we clutched it out and succeeded on this encounter. And with that, I had one more opportunity to see some shiny Pokemon. Bronzong, not shiny. Poltegeist. Doesn't look very shiny to me. Jigglypuff. Not shiny. We are 1 Pokemon away from packs and 10 racks of fake channel points. Giratina. Not shiny. But unfortunately, nothing decided to shine. And though my stream was over for the day, I wasn't quite finished. While 4 straight hours of Dynamax adventures did take its toll on me, I was still eager to make more progress on this hunt. So after some food and some rest, I got back into it and spent another few hours hunting off stream that night. Again, my brother joined in to help me out with some of these DAs, and somehow we still found nothing. We managed to find ourselves in the fight of our lives in one of our last DAs of the night.
All this for me to
Skitter
get
smack.
max overgrowth.
Skitter smack clutches
I've been
this.
trying to use it for 3 turns,
Skitter
James.
smack clutches this. It misses me. No, I'm dead for sure, right? Oh my god, wait, no, this is bad. We need to knock it out this turn. Hold on, this is bad.
Wait, do you have 1 health?
I have 4, but I'm gonna die to the storm before.
We need a 5er.
We need a 5er.
We need a 5er with a double crit.
Skitter smack into bounce. Hold on. The impossible. No, okay, 3.
3, of course.
I think there's a very, very slight chance this works. No, there's no way bounce does enough. There's no way bounce does enough. Defense?
Defense?
No. Shit. Oh my god! Oh! Let's go, dude. Oh, this is crazy that we're just gonna insta die after this, but that's, you know what? That was worth it. That was worth everything to me. After this, we had a few more pretty uneventful DAs, and I rounded out the night at 145 Cresselia encounters, adding 26 to my total from just this morning. While nothing decided to shine on day 1, I had a pretty good feeling going into day 2. I planned on another long stream for day 2, so I got up pretty early and got right into it looking for Cresselia again. And on the first DA of the day, I had a couple people from my chat join me on this adventure. And while we did a pretty good job of getting through the first couple Pokemon, Cresselia managed to pick apart our team, making us fail the first DA. And to be completely honest with you, that sort of set the tone for the rest of the stream. That said, the second DA went a lot better than the first one did. We got to see some pretty fun Pokemon along the way. How do we feel about going Marshtomp for the vibe? This is how my face looks when I'm just standing in the corner at a party, checking the goddamn weather app. We got to the end and managed to actually knock out Cresselia this time around, marking our first successful Cresselia of the day. And with that, we were finally treated to a pretty cool surprise. Shiny luck? We can only hope. Dude, get those Mudkips in there, chat. We have a Marshtomp. Get those shiny Mudkips in here. Get those shiny Mudkips in here. If you got it, drop it in chat. I might have to drop one for myself. Just to hope. Come on. Come on. It's gotta shine. Oh, it did. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, it worked. It worked. Oh my god. Oh, let's go, dude. Let's go. Let's go, chat. Finally. You can tell by this clip just how excited I was to find this shiny, and the reason for that is that Mudkip is my favorite Pokemon of all time, so this is a super special shiny to me. But after the hype died down, it was time to get back to work and keep grinding. Regardless of our early shiny though, there must have been something in the air this day because the Pokemon were out for blood. Far more often than yesterday, Pokemon were clearly prioritizing the weakest links or just getting any easy knockouts that they could. There's no shot we beat this Cresselia, right? Like, there's just no chance. This left us constantly going into the final battle against Cresselia with only a few of our lives, and that often proved to be not enough to make it through successfully. But due to the Pokemon being much better today, and admittedly some communication issues, it was pretty slow going for the beginning of this stream. And with the Cresselia total looking disappointingly lower than I had hoped for, I decided to run a couple of solo DAs to see if that would speed things up. And as it turns out, it actually did. With no move animations or waiting for the servers to communicate, I was back to cruising right along. I got through a few more Cresselia DAs before testing my luck with some random target DAs. While I do have ongoing hunts for Cresselia and Giratina, I really hadn't used my third slot, which had Rayquaza in it, so I decided to swap it out and try to track down another cool legendary to maybe look for this weekend. A few others that I've been keeping an eye out for are Guzzlord, Kyurem, Blacephalon, or Kyogre, but I was honestly just down to see what the game threw at me. And the first time around, I managed to get a Landorus. The second time I was met with Lugia, and the third time was a Uxie. And might I say just how much easier these DAs seem to go by. I mean, the first time around for Landorus, I might have had the greatest path of all time had it been a Cresselia adventure, with almost every encounter seeming to be a bug or ghost type, but I digress. The first two random DAs didn't have any extremely exciting Pokemon, but the third time around, I got a pretty nice trip down memory lane. I used it in my first playthrough this game because I thought it was a Gen 8 Pokemon. So, it's like, oh, cool, new Pokemon, because I hadn't played the games since Gen 4. I was like, oh, I'll use this thing. Certainly it evolves into something cool. And it did, but honestly, it's a gamer. I love Heatmore. It's a vibe. He's a vibe. And after getting through that Yuxi DA, I was met with a pretty fun surprise. That's shiny. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Okay. We love Heatmore. Let's go, dude. We'll take that. Let's go. Well, this wasn't a shiny legendary like I had hoped for. I was really happy to find this one and celebrate yet another phase during my seemingly everlasting quest for a shiny legend. But after that shiny, it felt like it was time to refocus my energy into finding this Cresselia. I rallied a few more people in chat, and together we went on a much more dominant run than the first time around. Not much had really changed, to be honest, but we just got way better routes and had some of our best runs yet. But even with the power of teamwork and some incredible paths, neither seemed to be enough to summon shiny Cresselia. So again, I ended stream slightly defeated, but glad we did get to phase a couple of times. And you know what? I still wasn't done for the day. I hopped back on a couple hours later to continue my offline hunting and see if I couldn't inspire some more shiny luck for the day. Unfortunately though, nothing shined and I only got through a couple more DAs before calling it a night. On a completely different side note though, I did manage to win a Rocket League tournament with my friend Finn during this time, so for now that's gonna have to fill the hole in my heart that's left by no shiny Cresselia. Anyways, with all of that done and one platinum tournament in the books, it was on to the final day. With day 3 starting, it was my final chance to track down this Cresselia that had evaded me for the past year. After yesterday, I was hopeful that things would go a little smoother today and I could get through quite a few more DAs than before. And in an effort to maximize my efficiency, I decided to start running my DAs solo to avoid any move animations and take more control over my routing. While I did have a couple of early fails, including one where I only beat 2 Pokemon, I got into a good flow and decided to cough up some of the 600 Dynite ore I had stashed up while doing these raids and used it to bribe the scientists to let me keep resetting on a path that I found to be super good and almost guaranteed a win every round. And I decided to just run this over and over again. And time after time, I was still coming up empty in terms of shinies. But after another 5 or so raids, I was met with something at long last. Shiny! Let's go! Oh my god, finally! Though it was another phase, it was a pretty fun one to find because the Nincada line, more affectionately referred to as Bucket because of an old Nuzlocke I'd done, is super loved by my chat and everybody was very excited to see this one shine. Still though, I had to keep going in hopes of finding that shiny Cresselia that was out there still. But as I kept going, the time I had left for stream was ticking away, and eventually, after 4 hours of hunting, it was time for my final Dynamax adventure. So with one last DA, I got after it and manifested everything I could into this Cresselia shiny. And as I knocked it out, I hoped that this would finally be the one. And it was time to check what I had found. Boltund, not shiny. Poliwrath, not shiny. Quillfish, not shiny. But finally, Cresselia, also not shiny. Unfortunately, after 175 Dynamax adventures, I had to call it. After over 60 successful Dynamax adventures and probably about another 10 more that I failed along the way, that was the end of my Dynamax adventure weekend. And to be honest with you, I was pretty disappointed that I didn't manage to find a shiny legendary during this event. I had gone in with really high hopes, and with Cresselia already over odds, I really thought that this was the time I was going to find it. I put a lot of effort into finding this, and I felt like I had let myself down and my chat down by not coming up with a shiny legendary for such a fun weekend. But when I thought about it more, I realized that really wasn't the case at all. While I didn't find Cresselia this time around, I wouldn't consider my DA weekend a failure. Not at all. I managed to find 3 other incredible shinies, and all of them had some really deep sentimental value to both me and my chat. I got to share countless laughs and memories with my chat and just participate in an event with such a special and wonderful community. So looking back on DA weekend, I'm so happy I decided to participate, and again, I want to thank BlueVack for creating such a wonderful event to bring this community together. And I also want to thank you all for coming over and watching me on Twitch, which you can do at I'mJamesLive_, and all of you who decided to stop in and watch this video. This was such a fun one to make. I had so much fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And as far as it goes for shiny Cresselia, I'm not sure we're quite done with this hunt just yet. And with that, I want to say thank you all again for watching. I have so many fun videos planned for the future, so make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this one and catch all the future uploads I have. Thank you all for watching. I hope you had a wonderful DA weekend. Let me know in the comments what you guys managed to find. I know so many people had so many fun hunts during this one, and I will see you guys all in the next video.